何作ろうかな。役に立ちそうなのは使う材料はこんな感じかな。よし、うまくできたかな。これに合うのはこれに合うのは使う材料は使う材料は材料はあったかな。そんなに悩むことでもないかな。少し材料も整理しようかな。この調子で集めよう。材料はあったかな。材料はあったかな。ドアが強くなった。使う材料はドアが強くなった。使う材料はこの調子で集めよう。材料はあったかな。この調子で集めよう。材料はあったかな。ドアが強くなった。使う材料はこんな感じかな。よし、うまくできたかな。 使う材料はこんな感じかな。よし、成功した。何作ろうかな。役に立ちそうなのは使う材料はこんな感じかな。よし、成功した。どうしよう。使う材料はあったかな。材料はあったかな。こんな感じかな。よし、うまくできたかな。使えそうなのは使う材料はこんな感じかな。よし、うまくできたかな。一気に進もう。どこにしよっかな。
さっさと行く。
レイニャ、髪の毛洗いたいです。お風呂ないかな。
一気に進もう。この鳥どこ行くんだろう。エナジーも節約しないと。一気に進もう。すごいすごい。それは
なんだかレイニャたちが思っていた以上にリヒトさんは謎の多い人みたいです。
とりあえずやっぱり何か隠しているのは間違いないし、一度報告へ戻ろう。考えれば考えるほど確かにリヒトさんの行動には不可解な点が多かったように思える。けど私たちの開拓のために協力してくれていたのも事実だし、考えても仕方ない。今はリヒトさんがいそうな貯水施設に急ごう。
移行の調査って服が汚れや
あれ、
どうか
ここなんだか踏んだ感触が変で。嘘、この床の部分仕掛けになってる。
別に
壊されてるからね。それもこの
リヒトさん。
多分この仕掛けを直せばまたどういうこれで治るはず。よし、これでちゃんと。
これは隠し扉か。
何もない。
ここだけ埃が積もっていません。
どうやらここにあったものを持ち去
リヒトさんの目的ってことは、
ここにたどり着きにくしたのは時間稼ぎか。ここを壊しておけば僕たちが修理して開くことは分かりきった。
感心するところじゃないんだけど、さすがね。
ならまだ近くにいるかもしれません。
痕跡から推測するに、リヒトはアウルーマ地方側へ移動したようです。
追いかけましょう。どこ行きますか？
Wasn't listening.
どこにしよ
Why
うか
aren't
な。
they telling me where to go? In a more logical way. Okay. What the fuck can I do about this? Only the internet can save me now. Or I have to go back and look at it for my own footage and try and piece together what they're trying to have me do. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe he doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm doing.
調査開始。
レイニャ、髪の毛。
よいしょ。また。
どこに向かうんだ？
Lacuna region and the other keyword is pioneering. How the hell did these guys make these guides so quickly? I do find pioneering. You're being very vague about everything. There is You're not making this easy. There we go, thank you. Finally, the Atelier and Elignios by the beach and report back for the last time. You will be moved directly into the ruin after a scene. Repair the tile. After another scene, warp to Radix station. Go up to the middle floor and watch the scenes. Ramis.
どこへ行きたいの？
Station. I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea where that is. Station. There we go.
さっさと決めろよ。
So you want me to head here?
それじゃ行こうか。やはり当時のアラディスには錬金術関連の道具を扱う店も多数あったのだろうか。
多分日常生活で使える道具とかも作れますから重宝されたと思いますよ。
Maybe I'm doing this in the wrong order. I wonder if doing, because he did his thing differently. There we go.
リヒトさん、
お前たちなら追ってくると思っていたが。
リヒト、おとなしく投稿するんだ。
それホムンクルス研究に関する伝送機ですよね。その研究は非人一個人が扱っていいものじゃないって。
非人道的な実験の中で生み出されたものが、俺の国ではどうしてもだから。
俺の国。
諜報員じゃない。俺は
動機って何なんだよ。くだらねえことだったらぶった
俺の故郷には生まれたものの目覚めることのない奇病にとらわれた人々が。
死産ってことか。
違う。彼らは確かに魂を持って魂が目覚めなければ当然意識も生まれない。だから考えたんだ。ホムンクルスの器を作り 彼らの魂
が目覚めない奇病だと。
だが確かに存在する。そしてようやく中核となる製造技術を手に入れた。これがあればみんなを目覚めさせられる。俺はこの技術を故郷に持ち帰る。
それは
なんだと。
魂を移し替える。仮にそんなことができた。
その方法を使うのは間違っている。だからやめた方。同じように禁忌である錬金術を使う。
それは私も調査の中で錬金術を用いることを許可されているだけです。もしここで見つけた知識や技術を利用したいならしかるべき手順に沿って持ち帰るべきで。だからどうか。
ユミア・リースフェルト。
私はなんて伝えるのが正解だったんだろう。
この場にいる誰もその答えは持ち合わせていないだろうな。
私もとっさに動けなかった。ああ言われちゃったら
一度報告に戻るしかない。ありのまま団長に伝えよう。
飲みやすさを考えて作る工程が一番難しいっていう。
どこに向かうんだ。
Here, we now go back to the chief. That's what they said. Are they referring to this location or that location? I assume this one, since it's a lacuna
さ
quest.
て、
せっかく人のいるところに来たんだ。
どこ行くの？
It seems half-baked.
なんだかどこ行きますか？
It's probably why there's no quest markers. So rather than going over there, I recall they said on their little guide for this quest that has no markers,
あの鳥どこ
they
行く
want
ん
me
だ。
to
一気に突っ走る。
complete the quest.
これなら。
これは強い魔物がうろついてるな。
それ。
Well, visited half of the chiefs.
どこへ行きたいの？
And I'm also going to
一休みしつつ
read their
荷物
thing.
の整理とかしたいな。
Report back once more. Report back. Okay.
ここからは歩こう。
This is driving me insane.
どこ行くの？
It sounds to me like this quest of his is dependent upon your pioneering. So until you're 100% pioneering, you can't complete this quest. Alright, then in that case, you're going to have to tell me about the crystal stuff. By this point, so the last two quests, so you're telling me Are you telling me I have it now? sounds like that's what you're saying.
どこへ行きたいの？
Okay, well, if so, then let's take a look.
さて見て回りますか。
温室の中のもの。
快適な感じにしたいな。
Some ingredients will be returned to the food synthesis Yumia by simple alchemy. Cool. That's really good. I wish I had that a long time ago. And the other one was something spreader? And a spreader. That's nice to have as well. And you're gonna tell me I'm supposed to put it in the Lacuna region, of course.
模様替えしよう。
目的地を選んでください。
どうしよう、休んでこうかな。模様替えしよう。
Now there should be only one left. Yeah. Use that grimoire that I crafted 5 times. And we're done. And of course it's not.
模様替えしよう。
More delays.
Here's 一気に進もう。これなら敵です。アイラさん。クリアだよ。見せてあげる。セルフレイド。アイラの尻。好きなやつだな。これなら。いける。思いっきり。ガラキを。クリスマス。アイスをお願い。行くよ。また。思いクリアかな。
原石は一通り知ってるわ。宝石の元となる石なんだし。
一気に進もう。これなら。ここからは歩こう。気をつけて。かな。
Did I use the wrong grimoire? Got 100%. Maybe I have to talk to him.
どこ行くの？
one last time.
出発しましょう。
せっかくだし一休みしていこう。疲れた体で無理しても怪我するだけだからな。
There we go. All the achievements. And lastly, I like to 0.3%. I feel like this game has a tiny player base. Very niche. What's that website that Asmongold always goes to look at how many people are playing a game on Steam? How to see how many people are playing. Okay, Atelier Yumia player count. Steam database. 3,111 players are in the game right now. I wonder if me... well, if there's like 3,000 people and I'm one of them, then that means that every single person that... you got 10,000 24-hour peak, an all-time peak of 14,000. So yeah, this is super niche. Honestly. So like, if you had 1% of 10,000 people, that would be 100. That's 24-hour peak. I'm assuming that the player base for this game is pathetically small. So 0.3% of people have all the achievements. Interesting. And before I got this achievement, it was 0.2% earlier today. I'm not gonna do a screenshot on this one. I'm more used... if it was 0.2%, I would screenshot it. Usually I just screenshot it if I get 0.1%. If I wanted to get a faster clear than I did, well, there's like 3 things I could have done, but here's the 2 that really come to mind. One, I could have played the demo earlier than the game's release. Because the save file would transfer over, I could use the demo to learn how to play the game. It would also, like, the early play session that I did, I didn't know anything. This is my first time playing one of these games. So I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know that enemies... I learned it pretty quickly, still. I just figure, like, if I played the demo, who knows how many hours of progress I might have saved. Maybe 6 hours of playtime? I don't know. The other thing I could have done is I could have used guides. I figure I found that guide. If I had known that I could be like, okay, let's look up ingredients on the thing, I could have been like, oh boy, ingredient list. It tells me exactly where to go find that thing. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy's also made other guides, so maybe there would have been more information. Lord knows how much time those things could have saved. And at the end there with that liched quest, I could have also, I found that thing, and it told me about the crystals and all that, and the mana spreader and the crystal flower. I could have done that. And basically, it turned out that I had already earned this stuff, but I had been so used to not having it, I didn't notice that I finally got it after a while. Yeah. So 0.3%, but that's because it's such a small player base. I guess what I would say is that the smaller player base means that the players that you are competing against that are going to earn the achievements sooner than you, they've been playing these games for probably, I wouldn't be surprised of like a decade or so, maybe longer, maybe decades. It depends on how old this series is. I remember watching an anime of this series a very long time ago. It was on YouTube, and they changed the name so that way the series wouldn't get taken down. I'm pretty sure they made it as like a 2-hour thing where they just combined all the episodes, well, not 2 hour, but maybe like it was quite a long while, and it was really good. I liked that show. Wouldn't mind watching it again sometime. I liked this game a little bit. It felt, yeah, it truly is one of those anime games, and I was gonna be honest, yeah. The anime aspect of it is nice at times. There were things I didn't like about that. The good and the bad. I want to play this game again, but I figure once I do play it again, I'm going to be like, ugh, why are you doing this all over again? There's got to be some way that I can play this game where I filter the actions that I'm allowed to do. Like if I was to say, okay, you're not allowed to harvest things. Well, the issue of that is that there are things like lumber and stone and so forth that you need to use to make items. And so if I was like, okay, if I'm not going to harvest things, then instead I'm going to gather resources from enemy kills. And when I say resources, I mean ingredients. And so I figure if I do it that way, then I can still craft equipment and maybe some quest items. But that still leaves me with a situation where I can't gather lumber. There's got to be some way I can filter the content into a way that becomes fair. Do I just not craft anything? I think that would be a little bit broken. I think you have to... I wouldn't want to play this game on hard mode if I'm not allowed to craft anything. Let's put it that way. Play it on easy mode, but have no crafting allowed. That might be fair. I'm not too sure. I can't imagine what easy mode is like at this stage. It has potential. I wouldn't be surprised if that is actually balanced if you think about it. You have a developer that realizes, okay, we need to make an easy mode for a game. Well, what does an easy mode entail? And an easy mode entails, okay, the person is so stupid that they don't know how to use the crafting system. And so I think that might actually be a fair way to play the game, is because, okay, you play in the game mode, you say, I'm not going to craft anything because I'm too stupid to know how to craft anything. And then you can have a more balanced experience, maybe. Depends on if the developer decided to make easy mode for people that don't craft anything, or if they made it for someone that has... I got no idea. I hope that that's how they did it, because then that would be a good experience. Be retarded, but it'd be weird and fun. What else? DLC and endgame content. I am disappointed with the endgame of this. I think I'm a little bit spoiled by, what was it, the Tales of series, where after you finish the main story, you suddenly realize that there is an end game that it's not as long lasting as the main story, but it's like, okay, you guys are the heroes, you saved the day, now for one last little tiny adventure where you're gonna go off and do something. I want that. So I figure probably gonna have to wait for the DLC for that, whatever that is. Assuming that they do that. I hate how every single game everyone's like, oh, I guess we gotta wait for the DLC. Dragon's Dogma 2, I guess we're gonna have to wait for the DLC. And then, what was it, the director's gone, so everyone's saying, well, I guess we're not getting Dragon's Dogma 2 DLC. And I gotta be honest, there was at some point in time, oh yeah, we got to the final area, right before you find the invisible wall and so forth, and we were going through those bushes. I was reminded of the Elden Ring DLC. Now, I've only played the Elden Ring DLC one time fully from start to finish, but part of me does want to go back to that DLC one more time. I need to find the right motivations, find the right mods to play with that you know, get me to experience the DLC in a nice way. I think that one problem with the mod pack that I've got for Elden Ring right now is that the guy that made the mod that I started with and I utilized for my own purposes, he's a fucking lunatic. He has created a ridiculously overpowered bosses, and it just sucks all the fun out of the boss fights. And so, for me, I was like, okay, fine. He's got these super powerful bosses, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go with the approach of, you want to have the bosses be overpowered, I'm going to let the player become overpowered, and I'm not going to make your bosses that you made ridiculous any stronger. And it ended up being fair for those boss fights, but for anything that he hasn't made into a ridiculous fight, it's a bit more difficult to keep those close to balanced in comparison to everything else. I think I could balance those things. I know how to do it. I just, it's a lot of work. And sometimes you don't really want to do work. Sometimes you just want to play. You know what? I got some more questions for myself. And that question is, have any more Elden Ring mods come out that might be interesting to add to the mod pack? Seems the Nexus has changed a little bit. Convergence got an update. It's been a couple weeks. I wonder if the Diablo mod got an update. Build system rebuild. This is all in Russian, I think. It would be nice to finally get a good amount of sleep and not stay awake for 24 hours. I didn't even know I could do that. What was it when I was playing, fucking, what's that game? Path of Exile 2, I was fucking staying awake for 18 hours. And with this game, I'm staying awake for 24 hours. I'm not gonna lie and be honest, I feel like there was one thing I was concerned about with how often I was staying awake that long is I remember people talking about how there was it was either StarCraft 2 or Diablo 3 or something, where there was some guy in an internet cafe that ended up dead from playing for too long or staying awake too long. And I was gonna be honest, I was like, can I do that? Like, how fucked up was he? Did he just keep on playing for 24 hours? How far did he go? And I was like, okay, I definitely don't want to do whatever he did, but I still want to do whatever I want to do. So I was like, fuck me if I do that to myself. Restored Ancient Dragons. Interesting. Soulsborne Armors. I think I've looked at that mod before. Maybe he's added some more sets. Yes, it seems like he's added another. I hope he adds... I'm glad he's doing this because I haven't added it to my thing yet. I've been looking at his work quite a bit. I want to ask him if he could do the Drake Keeper set, but I just never get around to it. I don't have the confidence to ask him. That said, the last time I did ask someone for it, I'm pretty sure they did notice and they did do it, and it was awesome. Fucking used the shit out of it. I loved it. It was good. The classic names. I've already seen all of this, so there's not too much right now. If I go back onto the Diablo mod page, I'm wondering if he'll have responded to someone and said that he couldn't do it, because it's been 2 months since the last update. I'm waiting for him to make this compatible with the Convergence. I'm not looking at the wrong mode. Anyways, it don't fucking matter. I can finally get some good rest, catch up on all that sleep I've been missing, and I can go back to playing the game I was playing before this, which was Ellen. And I'm probably not going to stream Ellen because it's not very good at streaming game. And there were other things I'm excited for later on in the year. I'll eventually go back to White Knight Chronicles 2. I've already upgraded all the gear from level 1 to 35. Now, I've done it up to 50 before. However, I've already done it and I don't really feel like doing it. I know that level 38 sucks, because I've been through that process. But I've learned things that will make it a little easier than it was last time. It'll still be a shitty grind. There was something else I was excited. Oh yes. So later, not this month, unless we're already done with March. Nope, we're still in March. In the next month we have No Rest for the Wicked. They are giving the game another update, and I'm excited for some of the changes. I like the fact that you can re-roll any affix on the gear, or you can add an affix, assuming it doesn't go past the limit, which apparently is 5. So what I like about that is just I like that the game respects your time a little more. Like when I played fucking Path of Exile 2, I would spend a 3-day weekend with like 15 hours averaged over those 3 days, so 45 hours total, and I wouldn't find any gear, no upgrades for my gear at all, nothing. And so what I wanted for Path of Exile 2 was for them to let you use Chaos Orbs to freely change around the investments to your gear so that you could, because here's the thing, if I can freely modify the gear that I already have, and here, maybe I should start with what the No Rest of the Wicked does. No Rest of the Wicked gives you this item called Fallen Ember, which will let you add an affix to a gear that doesn't have max affixes, or it will let you re-roll an affix of your choice. So, say I have an item, all my items have 4 things on them that I really like, and 1 thing that I don't care about. I can keep on re-rolling that thing that I don't care about until eventually it is a thing that I do care about. So let's say I'm neck deep in playing the game for months. Say I really love the game and I want to play it and all that. And I'm like, okay, this gear that I have is so good that I just can't find an upgrade for the life of me. So I spend those 45 hours playing all weekend with no gear upgrades because my gear is too crazy good. Well, rather than thinking of it like, okay, I haven't found any loot that's dropped that's better than my own gear, every time I re-roll that 1 affix, you can imagine that as if I had found an item of equal value to the item that I already have, and I've been re-rolling this 1 thing that I don't care about, hoping to get something that I do care about. And so I kind of want that for Path of Exile too. I have a small hope, just maybe, so like people say this and I agree with it, but I'm hoping to see it in practice, is that they say competition is good for the consumer, and I feel like with No Rest of the Wicked doing what they're doing, they probably did what they did because of Path of Exile 2, to be honest. And so competition has made things better for the consumer. Thanks to Path of Exile 2, No Rest of the Wicked has become a better game. And my hope is that this can be then reciprocated back to Path of Exile 2. That maybe, just maybe, by No Rest for the Wicked doing what they have done with the gear, that maybe Path of Exile 2 will do something that will let the player have a better time playing Path of Exile 2. I should probably stop this here. I need a nap.